All right, guys, it's here. Advertisements in Netflix and advertisements in Prime Video. Let's talk about it. So, if you didn't know, there is a new ad setup in Prime Video and within Netflix. Now, I have T-Mobile as a cell provider, so I was getting Netflix subsidized through them for a while, and they let me know the plan was changing, let me know well in advance, and I kind of knew this was coming. So what does it look like? Because nobody told me what it looked like, and I was curious, and I couldn't find much information. So for Netflix, if you're on the standard basic plan, because I don't use more than 2 TVs at this point, you're now going to get 2 different classes of ads, and you're going to have to fill out demographic information or you can't watch anything. So when I signed in to Netflix, I was greeted with a prompt to put my birth date in and my sex. They said it was for maturity settings, but it also notes that it is for targeted ad settings. So what do the advertisements look like? Well, as I did a TikTok on it recently talking about how I'd watch Leave the World Behind, that's a newer movie. The news put out by Netflix said that newer films would have an ad before and after, so they were clear on that one. And checking it out, sure enough, there was a 30-second ad before the movie started, and when the movie was over, there was a 30-second ad. What does it look like on older content, and what is older content? Older content looks like anything past a year old and will be anything, even if they add it to the platform new. If the movie is older than a year, it's going to get ads. And what does that look like? I checked John Wick. 6 30-second ad breaks. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that is 30-second gaps between. And are they put in elegantly? No, they're not. For example, in John Wick, the scene with John Leguizamo, the first scene you see with him when he's in the shop and the mob boss's son comes in, right as the kid walks in, boom, ad cut, inconvenient spot, and they cut back to the film. So be prepared for that at very inconvenient points, and yes, right in the middle of action scenes, there will be a 30-second ad break. Oh, and you get an ad before the movie starts, and you're going to get an ad after. So technically, you're getting 7 minutes of ads total. What does it look like on Netflix? Well, since I'd already seen Invincible, I decided to check it out. You're going to get an ad before the show, and you're going to get a 30-second ad in the middle of it. Right in the middle of an action scene, cut to an ad. And then an ad at the end. So it appears Amazon might have the better ad scheme at this point, but that's what it's looking like. And my partner had asked, because they're not familiar with this. Now, I've been using digital media for a long time. I was an early adopter. This is also when ads were in at one point. What does that look like? Well, and why aren't they putting, a lot of people argue, why don't they just put them at the beginning? Because they know you're not going to watch them. They know that if they put a minute and a half of ads before your show starts, you're not going to watch them. So they're going to put it at inconvenient spots. If you're asking, why are the ads in the middle of an action scene? To annoy you enough to pay the extra premium. That's why. So really consider your options here. I'm going to pull up a graphic real quick. So I was going to stitch this guy's video because he was talking about how cable's a better deal than streaming. Now, he admits, I'm going to show you his channel ID there if you can see it. Where's his name at? I don't see his name there. Anyway, if you see this guy's video, go watch it. I don't want to stitch his whole video, but he has a graphic here. He does admit it's outdated, and that's fine. But it shows cable at $79, and it shows streaming at $89. And let's just say streaming's $129 and cable's still $80. That might seem like a better deal, but here's why it's not. That cable package is basic cable only. That means no movies. You're not getting any movie content with that. You're getting over-the-air channels. If you have a digital antenna, those channels, you're paying for those now in the $80 package. And you're getting basic cable. So that means like Fox News, or you're getting your news channels and stuff like that. You're not getting movies. So unless you plan on buying your media up and you plan on watching basic cable, you're not going to use the basic cable. The reason that streaming is still a better deal, even with the ads, not that I like this, is because you're at least getting the movie content you want. So even if you are paying more, I did a video a while back that has direct price comparisons. You go search that out. I'm not sure how to add links to that in here. But if you go back and watch that video, it'll show you that cable with movies is closer to $200 or $300 per month. So $89 or $120 versus $200 or $300, streaming is still the more cost-effective option. And as I said then, at this point, does that mean it will stay that way? No. What should you be doing? You should be buying up physical media, or you should be getting digital copies for free. How you figure out how to do that is up to you, but you should probably be building a digital library in all forms. Music, movies, and books. You should be educating yourself on how to set up a server in your house and how to keep this content forever is what you should be doing. Now, as far as TV shows, those are a little bit harder to deal with because they take up a lot of space. That's something we need to discuss elsewhere, but I think there's a solution for that. But these things cost. But paying a one-time fee for hardware and keeping the content indefinitely is more important, in my opinion, and better than paying for a monthly. But that's something that's beyond a lot of people, and we're going to have to help each other, guys. But no, right now, please do not feed into these claims. People are not looking at these. They're giving you half the information. Cable is not a better deal than streaming at this point. Doesn't mean streaming is necessarily good in the way it is, but it is still a more cost-effective option for movies. So keep that in mind. I'll be glad, as always, to answer any questions or comments you guys have about this, because I think the information is being misrepresented in multiple areas. But here's where we're at for right now, guys. What are your thoughts?